Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal, and joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua, Gangsta Time Cole.
Well, it's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, Chris? What up, everybody listening? Just had to unmute myself real quick.
Oh, yeah. Also joining us, it is our producer. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
なんというビッグニュース
Yo, what up, nerds? Hey. Welcome back to another episode of No Jump City. We got a lot of manga to talk about. Obviously, we got One Piece, we got Jujutsu Kaisen, we got Sakamoto, we got Kagurabachi, we got Undead Unluck. But first, we got plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole_37. That's on Instagram, and at New Jump City Josh on both Twitter and TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Brian?
You can find me at beat.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. If you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itsbudgelord.
Oh, yeah, you can. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we'll talk about it in our pre-show chat show that we do every week. Brian, is your ringtone?
Yeah, I'm about to tie up.
It's the Star Wars thing. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Is that the cantina?
Yeah, the cantina, right. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Emails at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we'll talk about it at our pre-show chat show that we do every week. I hope you guys are enjoying that. It usually comes out a day after the regular show comes out. And we just chat about pretty much anything that comes to mind, whether it's life stuff, movie stuff. We talk about manga sometimes in a more general way. So yeah, check out that show and send us some questions that you guys want us to answer. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, Castbox. Check us out on that. Pocket Cast. We are on all of these platforms I've never heard of. So check us out on anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're on there. Please subscribe to our YouTube as well. That would be pretty sick for some of that stuff. Get us some engagement on that. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the show. One Piece. This is One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1126, Settling the Score. We are starting with the cover page, continuing on. This is Yamato's Golden Harvest surrogate pilgrimage, and we see that Yamato is eating some kind of noodles, and he's hearing about, some rumors that some of the girls from the soba shop in Curry have gone missing. So I imagine Yamato is going to go on a quest to find these missing girls. And we open pretty much where we left off. The Straw Hats are on the Giant's ship, having a big old party, catching up with their giant friends that we've seen before. Like we see Oimo and the other guy from Water 7 talking to Luffy about what they did after the whole Enies Lobby situation. They went to Little Garden to go find Dory and Bragi, where they found them fist fighting, and so they decided to leave Little Garden in order to get more weapons so that they could actually fight to the death. And I guess they just never went back, Apparently,
How does that make you and Brian feel?
It makes me feel good. I like Dory and Bragi.
It's nice.
It's nice.
It's nice knowing that they're gonna keep fighting to the death.
Yeah.
Didn't they solve that problem in Little Garden? I thought
No, they
they
stayed
didn't
on.
want to fight no more.
They stayed on the island to continue fighting, actually. So, there's that. Yeah, everybody's having fun. Everybody's having drinks. there is a big party sequence. There's this cute little scene where Bonnie is finally reunited with Kuma, who seems to be alive and is smiling right now, holding Bonnie in his arms. And that's so nice. That's so happy that they're both alive and experiencing each other finally. We then cut to a month earlier. I didn't even realize this when I first read it, that this was like a month ago. But if you guys remember, there was a cover story that was following the Straw Hat Fleet through their many adventures after the Dressrosa arc. And Bartolomeo ended up on an island that was protected by Red Hair, Shanks. And of course, without knowing his connection to Luffy, he just decided to cause trouble and burn down Shanks's flag and claim it as Luffy's territory, selling Straw Hat decals and whatnot over there. We find out that Bartolomeo has actually been captured by Shanks and his crew. And they're basically, explaining that, hey, we can't let this slide, obviously. If we let this slide, then, nobody's going to respect the flag. And a lot of people whose islands are being protected by the red-haired pirates are going to be, under siege, basically. So, and Bartolomeo's like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking about what I'd done. It was a stupid, ignorant thing I did. And one guy from Shanks' crew, I think his name is Hongo, he comes down to Bartolomeo and he presents
this.
Yeah. No, because I remember very recently in the anime they reintroduced all of the names. And also I read a volume that shows all of the names of Shanks' crew or his main crew. And Hongo is one of them. I don't know what his position is on the crew, but yeah, he pulls up and he basically presents Bartolomeo with a bottle of supposed poison, and he presents it to him and says, "Hey, you need to go and make Straw Hat Luffy take this within the next month." And he explains that it's a poison that causes excruciating pain, massive hemorrhaging, and ultimately death. And he says your boss has to pay for his crimes. And Bartolomeo, without hesitation, just grabs the bottle with his teeth and drinks the entire bottle of poison by himself. And he's like, I'll take the punishment. Mr. Luffy didn't give us no permission for the ritual cups we drank, and this has nothing to do with him. Just, I don't want him to waste a single precious second of his time on me. This is just one of those things that happens. A common thug stands up to an emperor and gets slaughtered for it. Nothing more, nothing less. And he cries about how he wished he could have seen Luffy become king of the pirates. And, just as he thinks he's going to die, he just burps and he's like, whoa. So I'm not poisoned. We immediately cut to them on their ship as they're making their getaway. And he's like, whoa, so it wasn't poison after all. Maybe he's just a big softy after all, And we cut back to Shanks, who's smiling on his ship. And Ben asks him what he's smiling about. He's like, it's just nice, that there's so many people. There's just people who care about Luffy that much. And then Yasopp pulls up and he's like, all right, Captain, step aside. Every action has a price to be paid. And he snipes Bartolomeo's ship, destroying it entirely with one gunshot. We don't know if they survived or not. I'm guessing they did. Because unless Oda explicitly says that they're dead and we see literal holes in their body, I don't expect them to be dead. Yeah.
I mean, he has the barrier fruit. The ship was destroyed, but he might have been able to
protect him and some of his crewmates.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of that scene. We then cut back to the pirate island where Blackbeard is chewing out Pizarro over letting Kobe go, and now he has revealed that Moria has also escaped. So, if you don't remember, Kobe was broken out by Perona in exchange for Kobe helping her break out Moria. So that's why he was able to escape, if anything. So it's very probable that Moria and Perona have reunited and are sailing together again. So, Blackbeard is just chewing out Pizarro, yelling at him, but like, yo, we needed Kobe because now everybody's gonna be after the One Piece, or at least the road poneglyphs. Um, so yeah. Meanwhile, all the pirates on Full Lead are just like stoked. You know, they're all fired up to go get the One Piece for him. We cut to a 2-page spread of all the Blackbeard pirates captains united under one roof, and they're just kind of explaining the situation. Huh?
Cool.
Very cool.
They don't hate each other. I mean,
they don't love each other, but they
doesn't
don't
seem
hate
like
each other.
it.
They're not the same like, ooh, oh, I hate you. I can't work with you. Meh. But you know, everybody is just explaining the situation. You know, Kobe escaped, but they have Garp. Garp is confirmed to be alive. No shocker there. And it took all of them together to basically to restrain him to the point that they have. So, yeah. And Blackbeard reminds us all that they have Pudding as well. So, you know, that's cool. We cut over to this country, this headquarters of Umit Shipping Company, and we see that Lafitte is keeping an eye on the revolutionaries' actions. They seem to be attacking the provisions that are being sent up still, you know, as we know that the celestial dragons are experiencing a food shortage, and the revolutionaries are continuing to put pressure on that. Outside of Pirate Island, we see Katarina and Van Auger appear, and they sail back with Karibo in tow. And yeah, we're gonna find out what happens with them eventually, I imagine. And we finally cut to the present, which would be 2 days since we last left the Straw Hats. And we see that the Sunny has been stolen somehow, some way, along with a couple of their crewmates. The only crewmates that we see that seem to have remained on the giant ship are Brooke, Robin, Jinbei, and Frankie. I believe Bonnie is there as well, and so is Lilith. So that's fun.
Yeah, that's Bonnie tugging on Jinbei.
Yeah.
Jinbei's thing.
Yeah, Lilith is also there. So the Thousand Sunny is gone. Some of the Straw Hats are still on the giant ship, and we end the chapter with Nami waking up in full Viking type garb inside of a weird Lego-esque kind of palace. There's these little Lego-esque floor, and on the walls you see the little I don't know what you call those, but things you stick Legos on. But yeah, that's
The blocks.
the blocks. I guess I'm more referring to the little things that latch onto the blocks.
Yeah, the circle.
Yeah.
Circular pieces.
Yeah, the Lego circles. But yeah, that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1126?
This was a really dope ass chapter. Did not put a whole lot of thought into what my favorite chapter of the week was. It's mixed and varied. I need more time. I'll give my thoughts though. So my immediate, all right, the first question I have is, when was the 3-eyed chick confirmed to be with Blackbeard?
We saw
When
in a
did- when
cover
did that
story
happen?
that a while ago, Aokiji and Van Auger invaded Whole Cake Island shortly after Niji and Yonji escaped.
Oh shit.
So right after, Germa left Whole Cake for good, we saw that Van Auger and Kizaru arrived there. And they took Charlotte. They took Pudding.
Specifically?
Yeah. Because Pudding is
I wonder why.
Pudding is the last remnant, it seems, of a 3-eyed race that is able to read the road poneglyphs.
Wow. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so
Thanks.
she's their insurance on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Really good. Okay. Yeah. You know what? This was my favorite chapter of the week. A lot of cool stuff happened.
Oh yeah,
You wanna
my bad. It's
that?
also a mine
Yeah.
for the record, Brian.
No.
Fine. This is a regular, degular, certified really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah. I hope Kuma's alive still. I think if nothing else, he's probably in a vegetated state where he can you know, see what like feel and see what's going on, but he just can't respond or do much. It does look like he's holding her. I don't know, or maybe his arms are crossed on top of him, and she's sitting on top of his arms, so he's not really holding her.
Yeah, I mean,
But
he seems to be conscious enough to understand what's happening.
yeah, his expression has changed, or maybe it's been the same. I'm just I still believe he's dead, but this is sweet. Anyway, it's funny that they addressed the Bartholomew situation because I do remember them talking about burning the flag, and I didn't think I actually did not honestly think the situation would be addressed. So it was a nice surprise that it was, and I mean the way it was handled was cool. I didn't like seeing Bartholomew get punked, but it's Shanks and his crew, so it's cool. If anyone was going to do it, I feel like that it's fine coming from one of the emperors. And he did bug out. He did burn his flag, so it is what it is. Poison and thought he was good till your boy Yasop sniped him. That was a big deal for me, man. I know. Actually, that made me think. Right, E- I thought Usopp was gonna run into his dad in Elbaf. So it's just kind of crazy that they're like there's with Luffy's crew being so close. Now they're like on their way out to do like other things. It's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
But still, it was nice to see that interaction. The whole crew, the whole Blackbeard crew, that was sick. These tropes are always nice. And Oda does them really, really well. I mean, look at Teach sitting down. Look how much swag. You know what I'm saying? What is pants? He has flower pants on.
Let me see.
So come on, yo. He's a real pirate. He's the most pirate person in this entire series. Facts.
Yeah, they do have flower pants on. He has the pirate hat and everything.
He's he's the pirate's pirate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's his name was close. Gold Roger was like he looked like a pirate too, but he's got anyway. Yeah, this cliffhanger was pretty wild. Maybe Nami's like hallucinating because she was drinking the absinthe, but that doesn't explain why the ship is missing. So yeah, I don't know. Mini arc. Is this about to be a what's that arc y'all love to reference that happened like after Thriller Bark before
Saboti?
the Shibodi? Before Shibodi.
No,
It's
that
like
counts as
between that.
Saboti.
It was like a game show or something like that.
Oh, that
Or
was
like it was
not.
like a
That was not.
competition to fight for the
Yeah, that
Long
wasn't.
Ring, Long Land.
Yeah, that was between Skypiea and
and
that
water.
Water 7. Yeah.
Long ring arc.
Long
was-
Ring, Long Land.
We like to reference the Davy back fight.
Yes. That is your favorite arc. That's your favorite mini arc of all time.
Oh no, it's
Bar
not.
none.
I
Yes.
mean, I think
Facts.
character-wise, it's a very
100%.
important arc. But
I actually don't really like that arc very much.
You guys reference that more than you reference the time of day or weather.
It's just because
I-
you can't imagine Shanks and Luffy fighting seriously against each other. So like the only other way that they can have conflict without it being like a death battle or something for us at the moment is a Davy back fight, right?
Yeah. Well, look, this arc before they get to Elbath, this Absinthe X on my ship arc, yo,
I think she's an Elbaf.
this might be another one of those, yo.
Who's an Elbaf?
Nami.
So
Nah.
you want to hear my theory?
Yeah.
I think she's in Elbaf, but she's in a toy house that a giant.
You
put
can
her
get the
in.
rest of your thoughts too.
Yeah, Brian, if you want to go for it.
But yeah, I think she got captured by some giant, and then the giant put her in a little playhouse because she's an adorable little human.
Yeah,
Can
everything looks more
I
realistic
say what the
outside.
streets are saying about this?
Oh, what are streets saying?
Streets are saying that Loki kidnapped her, and this is his castle.
Oh, one more thing. I guess it'd be worth knowing that Legos originate from Denmark, which is a Scandinavian country. So,
No.
little fun fact.
They
right there.
originate from Denmark.
Denmark, yeah,
And what's insignificant about that?
Vikings.
because Yeah, 'cause-
Ooh. Oh my god, do you think they're gonna run into Thorfinn?
I'm sure there's gonna be a character named Thor.
Yeah, because there's Loki.
This might be the place they would talk. Elbaf might be the place. I've only watched up to season 2, so I don't know how the series ends. But this might be the oh, what the fuck do they call that? Shit?
Vinland.
Vinland, yeah, bro. Elbaf might be Vinland, yeah.
It might be Vinland. It seems to be the way they talk about it.
Who could say? Yeah.
All right. So continuing with my thoughts. Shanks made a really weird ass face. Didn't he?
When
When Bartolomeo was like, I wish I could have seen Luffy become king of the pirates.
Mhm.
He had like a really weird face, and I can't really understand like what the expression meant.
Yeah, no, I get
Can
you
you guys
there.
tell?
Let me see. Let me look at it real close again.
Yeah, like he looks.
That's
He
page
doesn't.
8.
He looks
Operate.
disappointed. He looks. I don't know what it is. Like, what is
It
that?
looks
face?
detached.
He said,
looks
"This is the
detached.
face." Is like, man, I'm gonna have to smoke one of Luffy's homies right now. Luffy's about to
But
lose.
literally on the next page.
Luffy's about to
Like,
lose a
on the
really good
next
soldier.
page,
Yeah, and then on the next page he's like laughing, and it's just like, bro,
right?
this guy makes no sense to me right
I
now.
think-
he feels like Blackbeard.
I think okay, so in the most contextual reading of this is that Shanks is happy overall that Luffy has surrounded himself with people who really care about him, but he also has to uphold his standing as an emperor. And he can't like play favorites just because Luffy's his boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was just keeping up appearances
Like he's got to do what he's got to
like,
do.
in that moment.
You know, even when it comes to just the outer circle of Luffy's friends. And I think if it were to come to him versus Luffy, he would, I mean, he's going to fight him.
Because Shanks is his end goal?
Shanks is not his end goal.
Or is that not a
His end
proper
goal is-
argument?
His end goal is the king of the pirates.
What if Shanks is just Luffy and Zoro combined into one?
What do you mean?
You would love that.
Like, you know how Luffy often needs like encouragement from Zoro to actually like, you know, make difficult decisions.
Hmm.
And it seems like Shanks is like is like that. He's kind of like two sides of the coin. He like understands, you know, that there are things that he's gonna want to not do, but he has to.
Yeah.
But I think if you put Luffy in this situation, he wouldn't do this.
No, he wouldn't. But
And he wouldn't allow anybody on his crew to do this either. And nobody on his crew would probably do this either, on top of that.
no, yeah. This is a very different thing. Shanks is different from Luffy in that way, where, you know, he's a grizzled vet. you know, he didn't get this far by being, you know, like Luffy. I feel like Luffy's a one of a kind of guy. And I don't think Shanks himself could have pulled off what Luffy does because they're just different people.
What if Shanks is trying to take the easy way to becoming king of the pirates?
I don't think he is. I don't think eliminating eliminating Bartolomeo.
No. What I mean is, notice how Joy Boy gets awakened, and then that's when he's like, "All right, now we can go get the One Piece."
Well, what
I
I think
he's just trying to ride the coattails of Luffy, like he's waiting for Luffy to get there, and then he'll take it from Luffy when he gets there.
well, maybe he understands that only Luffy can use what's at Laugh Tale. So he was been waiting for Luffy to awaken the Nika fruit because he knows that at the end of the day, even if anybody gets to the One Piece, it's probably Nika's fruit in particular that operates whatever it is there.
Yeah, so in short, in the end, he's looking to backstab Luffy. Like he's
Probably.
proven here.
It's entirely
that-
possible.
This chapter has proven to me that Shanks, while being like a kind person, he is going to do what he has to do to make sure that his crew gets ahead, or he makes sure that he gets ahead.
Yeah, I think he wants to do what Roger couldn't do, and he needed Luffy to do that.
Yeah, this
Th-
is I don't know.
I think
This
there's
chapter rubbed me the wrong way when it came to Shanks.
yeah, I think there's a particular reason why Shanks stole the gum fruit. You know, I think he knew all along what it's capable of and what it can do.
Well, he's planning
he
to
just-
give it to Ace, right?
No, I don't know if he was planning on giving it to anybody because by the point he meets Ace, Ace already had the flame fruit. He actually didn't know about Ace until like way after, until he met him the first time. Like Ace found Shanks specifically to thank him for saving Luffy, so they didn't really know about each other.
Maybe Ace did know about Ace. I mean, maybe Shanks did know about Ace.
Well, I'm sure maybe he knew
He
that
just kept it close to his chest.
maybe he knew that Ace existed, but he didn't meet him until that moment.
But yeah, those are. Oh, and Garp looks pretty cool. Being chained up, like he looks kind of fucking badass. Kind of gives me like Ace vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
I really hope that when Luffy finds out about this, he like shows up to like save his Gramps.
I feel like he won't.
Like this is
I think he'll be like, well, Gramps is strong enough to get out of whatever he needs to get out of.
yeah, but this is Blackbeard. It would be different if it was anybody else but Blackbeard, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because Blackbeard is the reason why Ace got captured in the first place. So
Yeah. I mean,
I don't
know.
think if Luffy finds out about this, which he probably won't for a while, because I don't think Elbaf gets news like that, does it?
No, it's very similar to Wano. It's not affiliated with the world government, really. So it's kind
Unless
of
Vivi shows up to Elbaf.
maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah. I love this chapter. I'm pretty sure Bartolomeo's not dead. I would need him to not be because I really like Bartolomeo. So I'd like to see him again. Yeah, I think we pretty much discussed everything I wanted to discuss. I don't have too many other thoughts. I'm curious to see what Karubo is going to tell him and what's going to befall him if it turns out Blackbeard already knew what he was going to say. Like if the information he has for him turns out to be something Blackbeard already knew. How are they going to use him? I think it's
Came a
interesting.
long way.
Yeah. One thing I guess I noted is it's interesting how the more recent members on the Straw Hat crew were the ones who were left behind on the giant ship. And in theory, the OG members are on Elbaf, probably.
Yeah, it's the Alabasta team.
Yeah, like the original crew before Robin showed up. But
I think these are fun groups.
yeah, yeah, this is something I want to say. I mean, this happens like every arc where Oda does the smart thing of splitting off the crew at the beginning of every single arc so that we get multiple perspectives of the place that they're going to at a faster time.
Yeah.
Also, different crew members affect the situation differently. And so they're able to set certain things in motion in a lot different ways and having it all come together at the end. So, I'm always excited to see the initial teams of every arc and how they come together and split apart again and come together. So
some people are getting sick of it though, which I disagree with still. I think this is a good thing.
Well, it's a good narrative device. It's a good narrative strategy to go in. And yeah, it's a pattern. It happens every arc, but
it gives everybody a chance to shine.
Well, yeah, it's also like a good way to explore without having only one perspective. Because if it's just Luffy and we're following him through the entire island, we'd still be on Dressrosa. Like you need the utility of the Straw Hats being a unit that is so well developed that they can just kind of travel on their own and exist outside of the context of Luffy, is that you get a lot more done in the way of world building that way.
Plus, I feel like a powerhouse like Jinbei allows these kind of pairs to exist now.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah.
What's Laffite's ability again?
We don't know yet. He seems to have wings. Like he's a
We know
Zoan
that he's a
fruit.
hypnotist.
Yeah, we know he's a hypnotist, but he seemed to be a Zoan of some sort because we do see him at one point. He has wings on him, but we don't know
Bat
what
wings?
kind of. We don't know. It's like feathery wings, so he's some kind of bird or
Oh.
something.
Maybe a vulture?
That's possible. Vulture would fit with him.
Just seems sinister. He's
Yeah.
not spying on the revolutionaries per se, but he's at marriage. He's by the wall, I guess. And I was just
I think
thinking
he's
about
at
that
a
other
shipping company.
situation.
He's at a shipping company where I imagine the
Yeah.
Celestial Dragons get their supplies from.
yeah.
But yeah,
I hate Lafitte.
Bro, Caribou, he's been here with us since the beginning of the time skip.
yeah. How far he's made it. Another failing up kind of guy. Well, he's still in a precarious situation. It's not great to be
Imagine
part
he
of.
ends up on Cross Guild somehow.
It's a long way from Blackbeard's crew to Cross Guild. But knowing Karibo, he'd probably end up there.
I feel like that it just makes sense for him to end up there because Buggy needs some kind of way to know what's going on and for Cross Guild to end up where the Straw Hats are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's possible. I just don't know how from here. Because they're not cool. Buggy and Blackbeard are mortal enemies. But yeah, those are all my thoughts about One Piece. Great chapter overall, as usual. Very excited. I'm glad it's not off this week. We're gonna get a new chapter, so pretty stoked about that. But without any further ado, let's get into the next series.
Bloody Cross.
Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days chapter 182, Peaceful Day. Last we left off, Shin and Hisuke have ended up in the JAA prison that is underneath a Buddhist temple of some sort. And it's supposed to be a real harsh environment, that most assassins never survive. And in this prison, he meets up with Boiled, an old character from like the first arc, basically, of Sakamoto Days. And he's ended up in this prison, and they're fighting. Despite the fact that Boiled has no personal beef with him. So this chapter opens up with him telling Shin is like, I got no personal beef with you, but when you go out of your way to pick a fight, I just can't back down. And right when they're about to fight again, they get surrounded by the prison guards, and then we see Joe Shackles, the head guard of the prison, pull up, and he's like, what's going on here? Hey, Boiled, B1's a nice place to live, isn't it? Who do we owe that to? And Boiled says, you, boss. And then he gets shot in the leg because he didn't answer fast enough. And Joe Shackles goes on to say, I love our home here. Boiled, all I want for you guys is to live peacefully. Have you forgotten my promise? If you mess with me, I'll send you down below. And he's like, got that? Shake hands and make nice. We're peaceful on B1 here. There's no fighting, right, guys? And everybody's silent. And then he just crashes out real fast. He's like, answer me, you maggots.
The way it is drawn, so funny. Especially when you contrast it with the panel on the page to the right.
Yeah. He says, answer me, you maggots. And then he gets...
It's like the...
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Josh.
No, I was going to say it's like the comedy and tragedy mask.
Yeah. Big crash out.
Anyway.
He gets kneed in the face by Shin. And Shin's like, that's great news. So if I kick your butt, I get to go down below. And then he looks at his prisoner ID. He's like, prisoner 1394, Shin Asakura. Shin Asakura, Shinny boy. He says, Shin Asakura, what a great name. You want to go down below? What for? And she's like, just some personal business. As he's saying that, Joe Shackles puts some handcuffs around his neck and then just slams him on the ground. He said, you don't appreciate this floor? He said, what doesn't meet your standards? Food too salty? Don't like the toilet paper? The monthly dog therapy? What? This place has dog therapy?
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's a
I'd wanna
thing.
live here.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
No, yeah, they make you like raise and train dogs for like to be like service dogs or like for like the police or to like help disabled people and shit.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's when I went. Sorry to detract from the story, but when I went upstate to prison, oh wow, that sounds crazy. With my job, I went up to
Josh is a
to
hardened
Bedford
criminal.
Prison. No. I ain't never been to prison in my fucking life. I went to a women's prison for my job and went like on a tour, like to see like the facilities and services that they have through our children. And that was one of the things. The women brought the dogs out, and they were such like good dogs.
The babies.
And they was talking about how it's a really nice experience. They build like bonds with them, and they're successful. The dogs go out and they do good work. Well, the ones that help the disabled ones out, anyway.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Man, I want to play with dogs all day. Not in prison, though.
Yeah, I mean, they do it for a couple hours probably.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time you're in jail. Working for cents on the dollar.
America, fuck yeah!
Anyway. So, this guy's like, why are you complaining about being in prison? And Shin tries to counterattack with a kick to the face, but then he gets shackled again, and this guy kicks him through a fucking he just like kicks him really hard, and then he just swings him over the head casually, a full adult grown man, and then just launches him through the wall. And he's like, I said that if you mess with me, you get sent down below, but if that's all you got, it hardly qualifies as messing with me. Nothing out of the ordinary in the slammer today, just a peaceful day at home. As Shin has been utterly defeated. Pretty rough for Shin, but that is actually where the chapter ends. Josh, what
Ass
did you
whooping
think?
of the week.
Oh yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah,
I was
yo, Brian beat me to it. Yep.
Yeah.
Ass whoop another week. for
yeah,
sure.
let me throw that on there. This definitely was ass whooping of the week.
Without a doubt.
Get ready to slumber. Let brother go home.
It's not often
If
that
I may.
one of the main characters get an ass whooping of the week.
Yeah, go.
It'd be like that sometimes, though. It'd be like that. So I mean, from start to finish, he had no chance. I mean, he got him to lower his guard, due telling him he had a really cool name, and then it was over. He hit him with the shackle around his neck and started beating the shit out of him like a dummy, like a training dummy. Man, that's tough. Did any of y'all ever see those like wrestling, like dolls, those plush, big wrestling dolls when y'all were younger?
I don't think so.
Wrestling dolls?
Mm. It was like it's
Are
hard to explain.
Are those like stationary, like standing dolls?
No, they're not stationary. It was like a, it was like a plush, and they had one of like different people, but it wasn't a small plush. Like that shit was kind of tall. It was probably like 2-3 feet. You're like, fight it and shit. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is Shin got beat like a rag doll.
Yeah.
It was within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. But yeah. I didn't think how do I even say, as soon as he came on the scene, I already knew. I was like, oh yeah, like this is probably how Shin's gonna go down to the to the lower level, if not through fighting with the hardboiled dude. And then as soon as I was thinking that it actually happened in the comics, I was like, yeah, Shin pulled up, kneed him right in his face, and it barely phased him. Oh man, what a chapter!
Rough. Yeah.
I don't even know what else to say. Brian, what are your thoughts?
I just want to know what the sniper dude is gonna be able to do.
Fucking nothing.
Like all he's been doing is just kind of watching. But I can't. I have to assume that eventually he's gonna start actually doing something in this plot.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, he would have been better off like outside of the prison, learning somewhere else. Like I think it would have been cool if he went to find a sniper guy to train him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the only sniper better than him is the main sniper guy, the hiding gunman.
Who's literally
You might learn some
who's literally
valuable
just a
lessons.
sniper.
And he's an enemy.
Yeah.
He's not going to help.
But yeah, those are. Those
I
are
mean,
my thoughts.
listen,
I just
someone's
wanted
got to
say
be the straight man. The what do you call that in comics? The straight.
Yeah.
The,
It's a straight man.
yeah, straight man. Yeah.
Well, I
to-
guess
to
like
react
somebody's
to
got to
all
watch
this.
Shin's back in general. It'd be weird if Shin went by
And
himself.
the girl couldn't.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
not really watching his back either.
Well, we haven't seen anything yet. He's just being shocked right now by the ass whooping this guy's taking.
He didn't even help him when he was fighting Boiled. He didn't help him when he was fighting this guy. When is he gonna actually do something?
He's
Do
a
something,
sniper.
man.
He's a sniper. He's not a fighting hand to hand guy.
So why is he here then?
I don't know.
This is fucking Sean all over again.
No, Sean helps.
Yeah, a little too much. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I love this chapter a lot. Joe Shackles is so fun.
Yeah, it's a cool name.
It's a hell of a stunt too to be like, you weren't even trouble really. Like, I'm not gonna send you down below. You didn't do anything, even though you kneed me in the face and tried to kick me and fought me for a little bit. So I think part of Shin's training is to annoy this guy enough to send him down. But yeah,
I'm back.
this is just one of the fun things about Sakamoto Days. Very creatively, like, badass villains using handcuffs as a fucking weapon and all that stuff. I'm here for it. And this guy's so funny too. I like it. This is a short chapter, by the way. This is like 14 pages. And most of it was action. So not much else to say outside of that. But yeah, I really enjoyed Joe Shackles, and excited to see more from him. Do we have anything else that we want to say before we move on?
And how he just tossed him into the wall. Through
Yeah.
the wall. Sorry.
Yeah, that was sick.
All right.
All right. Then yeah, let's get it going.
Tell that pussycat girl me know what.
Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 269. Nice. Considerations. We open up this chapter with something of a flashback page that we'll learn more about later. But we see that Mei Mei is approaching this old lady who seems to be buying stuff from this old lady. And then we cut to the present where we find out with almost no fanfare that Okotsu's back in his regular body. They didn't really have to do anything about him. He's just back.
He has this scars on his forehead, though.
Yeah. So, you know.
Kenjaku.
Kenjaku.
Yeah.
So,
New
you know,
Jump City.
New Jump City. This is what you tune in for. So yeah, everybody's there. Megumi and Itadori and Nobara show up, and Megumi tries to apologize, and so does Itadori, but they're like, no, you know, it's whatever. It's not your fault. It's Gojo's fault for not killing Itadori back in the day, and as an extension, Itadori is just a victim of Kenjaku's jujutsu terrorism. So, you know, it's not entirely your faults. You know, you guys could just be kids and let us deal with it. It's more on us anyway.
What Kenjaku did is definitely jujutsu terrorism. The shit that he
Yeah.
fucking did to
Yeah.
Itadori and them.
Yeah, it was a freak. Kenjaku's a fucking freak, dude.
Freaky ass.
Just freaky ass. Yeah. God damn, I'll never get over that. Kenjaku is Itadori's mom. That's wild. You'll never find a villain more committed to his plan.
And Sukuna's sister-in-law.
Oh my
I bet
god.
you'll never meet another author more committed to filling potholes.
Oh yeah, this chapter should be like
Filling them up like with cement.
yeah, this is exactly what this chapter is about. I'm not going to go super hard into detail. I'll basically sum it up as best I can. I had to read this chapter a couple times over so I could really cliff notes it for myself. So basically, Okotsu's back in his regular body because while he was fighting in Gojo's body, Rika has been using her reverse curse technique to keep Okotsu's body functional and alive and, you know, just not dead enough for him to be able to return. Something about Kenjaku's domain, I don't particularly understand it, what that has to do with anything, but maybe I had to reread it a third time to really understand. Maki is mad because there was a whole nother way they could have gone by this. They could have let Maki attack instead and let Higuruma use the recording of Tokage in order to use the executioner sword on Sukuna. But, you know, there were some obvious caveats to that. Todo couldn't use Boogie Woogie on Maki to target Maki because she has no cursed energy. And they were afraid of using Tokage's cursed speech recording while Sukuna was still strong. too strong enough to, I guess, resist it, because by the time Higuruma was fighting, Sukuna was nowhere near weak enough for the recording to actually take as much effect as it did. But Higuruma is like, oh, well, I could have done it inside my domain, because my domain inherently prevents anybody from committing violence. So, who knows? And then they could have said that if Miguel and the other guy had gotten there earlier, they could have helped. But Okotsu wasn't sure that they were even going to show up. Turns out that place with the TVs that they were all at, they were inside Rika the entire time.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't notice that from the show.
I thought that was a hilarious detail to add.
Yeah.
But it wasn't over the top. It was we did wonder, like, where did they even come from? Like, they just jumped down, and where was this computer room at? It was all inside of Rika.
Yeah, I don't know
whole
why I
time.
didn't even think about where the fuck they were.
Yeah. So
Somebody asked me who's my favorite JJK character. It's Okotsu and Rika. Okay.
yeah, together at the same time. I guess you can't have one without the other.
Yes, the combination. It's like ice climbers.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I don't know. Something about comparing Okotsu and Rika to Ice Climbers is really
No, it's
funny.
true. I think honestly it works because
Stick
like
together.
the girl in Ice Climbers can die and that doesn't affect it, but when the boy dies, it's all over, right?
Yeah, you're actually right. As a matter of fact, if you change the color scheme, it switches around.
Mm.
But more or less the primary color scheme, like the main color is this, the male is the lead. So yeah.
So pretty good analogy there.
If Popo dies, they both die.
That's their
Oh,
names. I
man.
never knew their names.
Popo and Nana.
Popo and Nana. That's cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they're just going through the scenarios of that particular thing. And then we get explained some other people. We know that Miwa was there so that she could stay close to Maki and Todo can use her cursed energy to latch onto Maki and get her out of there. The broom girl didn't really do much, but she seemed to have been carrying Mei Mei. I don't know. She didn't do much. Hakari is sad that he didn't get to fight Sukuna because it took too long to get through Uraume.
It was tough.
Yeah, he was tough. And then we finally get Ui declaring himself the MVP of the arc, which he kind of is.
Is he really though?
I don't know, man. I think he's top.
Yes.
He's
Actually, yeah, he is.
without him.
Without
None of this is
a
possible
doubt.
without him.
Yeah.
It's him. The only other people I feel you could argue is Gojo and Itadori. Itadori, who actually dealt the final blow, and his curse technique was good at, was key to separating Sukuna from Megumi
But
in order to kill him. So
Yuji wouldn't have gotten there without Uyui's replacement.
exactly.
Training,
So
he is the MVP.
it's really between Gojo, and honestly, before Gojo fought, Uyui facilitated Gojo and Okotsu switching bodies to practice. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
we have a
this
unanimous
whole series
decision.
ends without Ui. Sukuna wins without.
He actually does.
And who
It's
would have
pretty
thought?
Wild.
Who would have thought that Ui would be this fucking important in the final fight? A character that does not show up until the Shibuya arc, and we don't see much there.
You're damn right, Horikoshi. Excuse me.
Whew.
GG. You're damn right. Ooh,
I miss
Freudian
saying that
slip.
word.
All right, so then we get a lot of exposition about the new Shadow style that we probably could have gotten earlier in the series. Well, I don't understand why we didn't particularly get earlier in the series, but it's fine. So
Yeah, fair enough.
So the idea of the new shadow style is they used to belong to one family. They had like basically the lockdown on it, and then uh so what happened was that there's a binding vow that restricts it to one family, but uh the generations changed and the new shadow style lost its public benefit and became a trade secret, the simple domain in general. In other words, what the family that originally was the proprietor of the new shadow style domain started to keep disciples and would teach people outside the family in exchange for a binding vow and some perks on the family's end. Like for example, if you're a student of the new shadow style and you're not in the family, you have to comply with what the head says. Like you have, even if it's at a notice moment, you're kind of at beck and call to the head of the family. And there's apparently a stipulation that the new shadow style supposedly drains life force from the user. But only the leader of the clan can undo various binding vows. So, at the time, they had to find out who the leader was. But all things said and done, turns out Kusakabe is now the new leader of the new shadow style, and he has pretty much gotten rid of those binding vows. So, the binding vow, the lifespan are no longer a problem. And after him, Ui Ui is the next leader in line for the new shadow style, which Mei Mei is happy about because, she can now reap the benefits of charging people to learn the new shadow style.
Wait, why is Ui Ui next in line?
I don't know. My guess is that Mei Mei is part of the family, and by extension, so is Ui Ui.
It should have been Miwa, in my opinion.
Well, I don't know if
Just
Miwa's
because
from the.
She's the one who uses simple domain the most after this guy.
Well, she can't use it anymore.
No, she can use shadow style.
Nope, not anymore.
She literally used it to save Maki.
Did she?
Yeah.
She can't. No, you're right. She can't swing a sword anymore, though.
Yeah, she can't swing a sword, but she can still use simple domain.
You're right.
I think she should have been next. What the fuck kind of shit is this?
Because she sucks, Brian. Nobody
I
respects
know she
Miwa.
sucks, but she's like, when you think of like simple domain, you think of Kusakabe and then you think of Miwa. You know?
She don't want to fight, bro.
Yeah, she doesn't want any part of this. She can't
She's
swing a
not
sword
about that
anymore.
life.
How's she going to be the leader?
Kusakabe doesn't want to fight either, but
He's different.
Yeah, he's different. He can still swing a sword.
yeah, but she doesn't need to have a sword. She could just use some other shit.
Hmm.
Like a baseball bat.
Wow.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Simple domain, baseball park style.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
anyway, we get a flashback of Mei Mei. Continuing the flashback that we saw earlier in the chapter where she's asking how much. And the old lady is like, how much? She's like, I'm talking about your life. And old lady already knows what time it is. She's like, how did you find me? How did you know I was the leader? And Mei's like, I learned about it from someone in the know. And she's like, but no one should know that. And she explains that this old lady had planned to increase the number of disciples of the new shadow style and then use these disciples to take over the Jujutsu world, since the Zenin family has already fallen to ruin, and if the Kamo and Gojo clans both fall in the battle against Sukuna, they would have pretty much an easier time taking over the Jujutsu world. And Mimi's like, that's not gonna happen. He's like, if there wasn't exclusive control of simple domain, some sorcerers wouldn't have had to die. Because you guys were holding it. A lot of people died. And she's like, you were trying to make my little brother defective, so this was bound to happen. And it seems that she kills this lady. And that's where this chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 269?
I have a lot of confusion. I want to be clear. I don't mind the patchwork done in this chapter. My real criticism lies in this introduction of the simple domain. I mean, not the new shadow styles, specifically, like, all this lore being dumped on us right now at the end, when this would have made a nice little arc or something, um, at some point, which is annoying, but I guess I'm not gonna linger on it too much. Um,
He's just tying up all the loose ends.
yeah, I mean, I guess she kills the old lady. Yeah, she says
And
if there
then
wasn't exclusive control of simple domain, some sorcerers wouldn't have had to die. I mean, yeah, I guess she's trying to say, like, if more people were able to use it, less people would have to die.
Well, less people would have died at the hands
It's
of domains. You know, like people who were trapped in, say, that Squid Man's domain in Shibuya. They had simple domain. They could have combated it a little easier.
She said you were trying to make my little brother defective. I don't know what that means. Am I missing something?
That I'm not entirely sure either.
maybe she was trying to prevent there being a chance for Ui Ui to become the head.
Yeah,
of
that's what I
the
was
Shadow
thinking.
Style.
Is that I
Maybe.
thought that's why I was thinking that maybe Ui Ui was part of the family. So that's why the head would go to him. I don't know if Kusakabe
went to
is part of the family.
Kusakabe
Yeah, that's the thing is that
after-
I don't know if Kusakabe is part of the family. I don't think maybe he's not.
I think it's by order of disciple, but then that wouldn't make sense because you'd think that the chick would be next before Uyui. I don't know. A lot of people had to master simple domain.
I feel very
This
confused
fight.
about the whole new Shadow Style thing because it kind of came out of nowhere
Yes.
too, right? Like,
It makes sense to me, but yeah,
I
I
didn't
mean,
even think about new Shadow Style
yeah, I mean the big lore
until
behind it
they
is
start talking about it.
the big lore behind it is relatively new, but the fact that it was kind of like a rare thing not a lot of people knew was always the thing. That's why Kusakabe has always been considered so important. Is that he seems to be one of the few disciples of the new Shadow Style or like simple domains in general.
Oh, so this was maybe I have to reread the series to remember.
Yeah, from what I understand, Yuki Tsukumo could have done it. If I remember
Miwa
right.
did it.
Like Tsukumo could have done it. There's just like not a lot of sorcerers who know it. It's very
Didn't
exclusive.
Gojo do it too?
I don't recall.
So is simple domain and new Shadow Style the same thing?
No, new Shadow Style is a simple domain. Is the form of it. Like Hollow Wicker Basket is another simple domain.
Oh, okay. So what's the difference between Hollow Wicker Basket and
New Shadow Style is like a simple domain in the way that Miwa uses it. So like you create a domain and you can attack instantaneously anything that steps into that domain. That's like the special edition. I think
Oh, okay.
Hollow Wicker Basket is just the most bare bones.
It's the more defensive one.
Yeah, it's more for it's a solve against like the domain can't miss attack. It just allows attacks.
So basically, new Shadow Style is more flexible.
It's a little more offensive, you could say.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Well, that was a fun little play-by-play chapter, and I assume the next two chapters are also going to be play-by-play.
Yeah, I wonder what else they got to explain. What other crazy shit they were going to explain here? What happened to the merger? Is the merger destroyed?
We're probably going to find
Guess so.
that.
He gave it to Sukuna, right?
Yeah.
No, it's in
Said it's with
Megumi.
you.
Yeah, it is within Megumi, technically.
Oh,
Yeah, he transferred power to Megumi.
yikes!
What if the
So,
last chapter
Megumi can
Megumi
have
just
more-
decides to unleash the merger?
But when the merger
last
doesn't the merger
chapter?
rely on the culling game? Is the culling game still going?
No, I mean they already accomplished everything. The merger is like ready to be set off like a bomb. I think, from what I understand, he got everything he needed from the culling game when he introduced the U.S. military into it.
So basically, Megumi is the most important person in the world right now.
Probably.
Oh, ain't that dandy?
Sasuke.
Sasuke. Is there any other confusions?
No, not really. I'm sure where anything else is going to get cleared up next chapter.
Yeah.
I appreciate this though,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Were those all your thoughts, Josh? I mean, we didn't really go through all. We were just answering questions, but
I passed that on to D.ESP.
oh yeah, go for it,
And
Brian.
I'm passing it on to Chris.
Oh, okay. I like this chapter. I'm kind of grappling between my interest for the lore and my appreciation that these things are kind of being explained with the timing they're being explained. There's a lot of like I guess consternation within the Jujutsu Kaisen community where everybody's just like, this was bad. And I don't agree. I don't think it's bad. But I feel like this is very typical Gege,
Yeah, he'd do this.
This is very much in line with how he writes, which, you can like or not like. I understand if you don't like it. It doesn't bother me too much. But yeah, I guess in a sense I appreciate the explanations here. I don't know. I just don't know why the new Shadow Style stuff hasn't been explained before, but that's not too much of a. I guess I'm nitpicking at this point. And maybe I'm just like looking for things to be upset about Jujutsu Kaisen with, but I'm not all that upset. I'm interested to see how this ends. There are
That's
I believe,
exactly how I feel.
Was there 2 chapters left? Right.
I think so. It's
3.
2 or 3 chapters. So
Oh no, 2 more. Yeah. Because he said 3.
no, he said 5. Okay,
I mean,
so
he said 5. I mean, and the 5th chapter was with that color one, right?
Yes.
With the dogs.
and then the chapter after that.
So yeah, this is the 3rd one.
Yeah, this is the 3rd one. So there's two chapters left of Jujutsu Kaisen. Wow. So that means it's going to end in 271. Isn't that interesting? But yeah, with that said, I suppose we're ready to move on, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Bow, bow, bow.
Kagurabachi. With that, I'm going to pass this over to
Alright.
Brian.
So, chapter 49, Deadlock. It picks up exactly where we left off in the train when Chihiro is confronted by this Hishaku sorcerer guy. He has the same tattoo on his hand as the other guy, but he wasn't there when Chihiro's dad was killed. And some other dudes show up, but they all just seem like hired hands. And Chihiro asks, "What are you trying to do?" And sorcerer guy Hishaku guy goes, "To kill Uruha and negate his eternal contract." "Oh, you mean that?" I figured he'd want to say a proper goodbye. Looking at the Uruha's security detail from his fortress, as they're all kind of slumped over in the benches outside. And he adds that they were all pretty tough. And that they even beat the Datenseki armed troops, whoever those are. Were those the guys who attacked the fortress?
No, they are the ones that were protecting the fortress.
Oh,
That's in Seki are the friends, the good
Mhm.
guys.
I guess. I don't know that.
No,
I
he
feel like
said, "You mean
that's-
that?" So this is the bad guy. He said they were actually pretty tough. They even beat the Datsun. No, I think he's talking about the Datsun Seki
Oh,
are the
my
bad
bad.
guys. Because this is from the bad guys' perspective.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I guess the
Oh, the-
Datsenseki are the guys who they hired to attack the fortress.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used the special stones.
And Chihiro thinks to himself that this guy slaughtered those guys who defeated the Datsenseki troops. In other words, he's a total beast. And he kind of gets like a flashback. Oh no. Oruha is getting a flashback to somebody is getting a flashback to their death, to Chihiro's dad's death. And as Uruha is kind of looking off, kind of detached, Hakuri is kind of like, hey man, as a sorcerer guy starts flying in towards the window, Uruha draws his blade, and as this dude bursts through the window, he chops his arm off.
Yeah, that was rough.
Failure.
And he says, focus, we have a job to do. And Hishaku guy goes, ha, 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 absolutely. And this kind of
Asshole.
reminds Chihiro that his job is to protect Mr. Uruha. And the action begins. All the sorcerers kind of just start running in towards him. The hired hands are attacking Chihiro, and he goes Nishiki. And I guess this is Oruha thinking here. Nishiki. That's what he used earlier. They had no time to respond. And apparently it's some hyper speed move from Inten. And as a response, the Hishaku guy puts his hands together, and I guess his power is kind of like paper craft. So he slaps his hands together and opens them up, and it's kind of like a magician, like bringing out a bunch of cards, and he says like blood crane, and all these paper cards start to fold and bend into like the shape of a crane or bird. These guys these guys approach Chihiro, and one of them gets immediately decapitated. And
Embarrassing.
these cranes
Fighter.
kind of shoot through these sorcerer hired hands, and blood gets splattered into Chihiro's face, and I guess the sword from one of the guys who he killed is like floating in the air, and the Hishaku guy grabs it and clashes blades with Chihiro. But it seems like regular blades have no chance against the enchanted one, so it just immediately breaks. And the Hishaku sorcerer guy is kind of flipping in the air as he sends the birds towards Uruha and kind of nicks him on the arms. And he says, "Come on, focus." And Chihiro calls Hakuri, centipede. And for a second, Hakuri's kind of caught off guard by the call, and then he thinks back to when his father used a move called centipede inside of the storehouse. So he's like, oh, he means that. And he kind of grabs Uruha by the hair and pulls him down as Chihiro starts to kind of spin with the goldfish kind of circling around him. And he goes, Kuro, as he does this massive horizontal strike that cuts all throughout the train, as Hakuri and Uruha dodge by getting lower to the ground. We see a bunch of these hired hands kind of getting flung out of the windows of the train as it's moving. And Chihiro's kind of like, Mr. Uruha, just to see if he's okay, which he says he's good. And the Hishaku guy goes, nice one. And Uruha starts to think the rest of them are no big deal except for that kid with the long hair. This guy has the skill and speed to come after my life. while defending himself against an enchanted blade. So it's a struggle for Chihiro to protect him and protect me and deal with him. And he kind of gets a flashback to him finding out the news that Chihiro's dad got killed by the Hishaku. And it's clearly a painful memory for him. So he says, "Don't worry about me anymore, Chihiro." And a few more flashbacks of him inside of the hot springs with his guard detail, his photo with Chihiro's dad, and the last thing that the bandana guard said to him before he left the fortress. And with one final kind of, one final burst of motivation, he says, "You got this." And Chihiro rushes the Hishaku guy and tackles him outside of the train while it's moving at like full speed. And he goes, "What? You're leaving Aruha on his own? You sure about that?" And Chihiro thinks to himself, it's not ideal, but the risk of having this guy near him is worse. And he kind of thinks back to their like planning and their kind of digestion of the situation, and like thinking about the power balance and the fact that they only really have Enten and Flamebone, saying that they're outgunned. But he is starting to realize that it's just like what Uruha said when it the calculations being wrong. The sorcerers using the Datenseki are disposal. Oh, right. That's what the Datenseki is. It's like the weapons.
Datenseki.
It's the temporary like the disposable weapons for extra power.
Oh yeah.
Sorcerer stones, remember?
Yeah, exactly. Even with the extra power, elite fighters can beat them. In other words, they're not the issue. The issue is they weaken the Kamunabi guards enough so that their elite fighters could finish them off. The Kamunabi has two sides, the two fighters with enchanted blade level fighting prowess, which is Chihiro and Hiyuki. And the Hishaku has more of them, but they're like much weaker. Like not weaker, but their power is very short. And on both sides, there's a bunch of skilled people without enchanted blades that could kind of get around with their sorcery. So our fighting power is split evenly. So their key strategy is that Hakuri's storehouse power will recover soon, and with that, when that happens, and they also are heading towards the Senkuzuchi fortress to meet up with another enchanted blade wielder. Once that storehouse comes online, they'll have two whole ass enchanted blades that will break the deadlock. And as Chihiro kind of finishes his thought process, they both land on the ground in the middle of the city as the train rides off. And the Hishaku sorcerer guy goes, "So now that you don't have a person to protect, you can really go all out." I love that. Yura's interested in you. I was hoping to play with you. I guess Yura is the name of the main villain. Good to know that. We still don't know this guy's name, do we?
I don't think so.
And Chihiro goes, "Too bad." Oh well, not Chihiro. Chihiro just gives him the edgy ellipses. And the guy continues. He goes, "Too bad. It's not just the two of us. We're playing for keeps too, you might say." As a butterfly origami kind of pulls out one of the Datenseki, I assume.
Yep.
And Chihiro kind of notices those are the fighters we threw out the train. They're nearly dead, but those stones And it looks like all of them are coming back to life after being tossed out of a train. And he says, and the Hishaku guy says, we call them our counter N10 special force. Right now, it's exactly the deadlock we envisioned. Chihiro Rokuhira. This means we can kill you. And Chihiro kind of thinks to himself while looking back at all the things that happened to him alongside Uruha's encouragement. He goes, the deadlock is about to be broken, as he draws his blade and gets ready for battle. And that's the end of the chapter. Josh, what are your thoughts?
This was an excellent chapter.
This is my RGC.
Oh.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified
Certified RGC. Cags. All right. Yeah, I love this chapter. Wasn't my favorite, but still sick. I tried to look up this guy's name, but it made my laptop glitch because I was moving too fast through the pages, so I'm not gonna bother trying all of that. But there was some nice action. I think one of my favorite parts of the chapter is when he yelled towards Heyuki or whatever his name is, Hakuri. He yelled out centipede, and he remembered that was like that special move that he used, and that was cool how he was able to communicate to him like to get out the way of the of how he was gonna attack. That was a really nice touch. I can dig stuff like that. The momentum and the emotion in this chapter was just there. I mean, this what's his name? Uruha.
Uruha.
We haven't even seen him. Yeah, Uruha. We haven't seen him that long, but he's I fucks with him. He's a really cool character, and he's a huge fan of Chihiro, as we are also at New Jump City, all three of us unanimously. So yeah, man, it's just I'm raring to see this fight, man. This guy was talking a lot of shit. He said, hold on. He said, so now that you don't have a person to protect, you can really go all out. I love that. That's like, oh, I'm sorry to keep running back to the Smash Bros analogies, but like when someone's like, oh no, I want to make sure you have your controller. That's good. No, don't.
Oh, now you
Like,
have your
yeah,
GameCube
he's
controller.
Like, nah, get him his. Yeah, get him the right controller. Let's make sure he's got no excuses. That's what that was like.
You said you were really good at Smash, bro. You said you were really good. Come on.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that like when I beat you, there's no excuses. So yeah, like let's
No
put you in a
Johns.
situation where you don't. Yeah, but there's no Johns, except for the fact that I'm gonna have my squad pull up and jump you. That was corny. These Hishaku dudes is move pretty shiced. That's all we've seen from them so far. But ultimately, we already know, regardless of this person's confidence and charisma, it will ultimately get smoked. They are fodder. There's no chance he defeats Chihiro. There's no way he defeats him and takes the sacred blade.
Yeah, Chihiro's about to open up a can of whoop ass.
He is about to show him some new techniques that your boy, give me 1 second, Takeru has been thinking about. He's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make the goldfish do that and that. This guy is going to be a canvas for Chihiro's new abilities. Watch this. So are these other guys, all of them. 1, 2, 3, fodder.
Fada.
Mini boss ass motherfucker. He's not like that. Trust me. On a serious note though, there's no way that plan goes that fucking smoothly. Someone's dying.
You think someone's dying?
It's yeah, for sure. As far as like, what's his name? Hikari?
Hakuri.
Damn it! Thank you,
Hakuri.
Hakuri. like him being able to get his ability back and making contact with both of the swordsmen, before they get killed, in order to retrieve the swords. Yeah, fucking right. Unless this guy wants the series to end in 175 chapters, also. Wait, how many chapters? How many chapters is Jujutsu Kaisen?
271 it's gonna end up being.
Oh, well, yeah. He might want to. This guy might want to end it in another 100 chapters at this pace. But anyway, yeah, there's no way that goes smooth. Uruha, he's definitely gonna die.
I hope
For
not.
sure.
He's such a cool character.
The other guy that they're gonna run into, the guy with the shade and the scar. Come on, guys. There's no way, he loses. He has the other guy's vulnerable and emotional. You know what I'm saying? Even though he didn't get super emotional with his friends, is now. I'm telling you, man, just Takeru, he wants to pick up and be the new Undertaker of Shonen Jump. As far as your favorite characters go, there's an agenda, guys. I don't have renegons, but I can see it. Can you?
That is just a cope by people with agendas.
Agendas. My boy Aruha, he's gonna make
Brenda.
it to the end. If
all
not,
right,
he's gonna die
so-
a Choso death, in my opinion.
a Choso death?
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna get diced up Resident Evil style.
No, he's gonna die saving Chihiro.
Choso did not die saving anybody.
Yes,
Yeah, he did. He died saving Yuji.
He saved Yuji.
Yeah, use the
Yeah.
blood shield thing.
When
Choso,
remember when-
Choso.
the blood brother.
Yes. Oh, okay. I was confusing Choso with what's
No?
his name? The lightning dude.
Oh,
I was gonna say Kaminari.
Shit.
I forgot this
His
guy's
name.
name. Whatever. I don't think it really matters, does it?
it does matter. He was a very important character.
He's the one that got Resident Evil. That's what I'm talking about. But all right,
let's see, what's his
whatever.
name? Lightning
I have an agenda.
guy JJK.
That is just a cope by people with agendas.
Kashimo.
Ah.
Cash Money. Oh, how could I have forgotten?
How could you have forgotten Cash
R.I.P.
Money? Oh, were those all your thoughts, Josh?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought this chapter was sick. This was my second place RGC. If One Piece didn't cook this week, it would have been
Student cook.
Kagurabachi. I just love we're getting a cool paper themed villain. I feel like we were a little bit robbed of it with Naruto with that one girl. We saw her do some cool shit, but then she died. And we didn't deserve that. We deserve cool paper villains. This panel, this one page with the swords is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Super well detailed. I remember I spent some time looking at this panel where the swordsman guy chopped off that guy coming through the window. And I'm just wondering how it makes sense, but it's just so cool that I don't care.
He chopped off his arm and then he hit him with the blade, with the sheath. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, but he came in through the window.
Yeah, look.
I see
Came in
it.
through
I
the
see it.
window.
I'm seeing it.
He came in through the window, kind of like, legs first. He chopped off his arm and hit him in the face with the hilt.
Pretty sick. Pretty sick. I can't wait to see.
Did he chop him in half too?
No,
Oh,
no,
no, he
you
didn't.
see his lower half there. He didn't get Gojo'd. But yeah, the action was super duper cool. I'm excited to see how this all breaks up, how Korea is gonna help in this situation because he's still kind of like not at 100%. So, I'm sure that by the time we catch up to the fortress, this blind guy is gonna pull up and do something super cool to save Chihiro somehow.
I'm blind.
That's exactly
What
gonna
is
be.
that from?
Yeah, I'm blind.
That's from something. That came from somewhere. What was that? Oh no, he just got made blind. All right, anyway.
Yeah.
The blind talk.
But yeah, this was a really cool chapter. I'm really into it. Excited for next week's chapter. Next week's chapter is going to be chapter 50 of Kagurabachi, which is pretty
Is that
exciting.
a milestone?
Yeah, I would say so.
That is a milestone.
We should
Don't
throw a
most series end
Kagurabachi party.
before? Don't most series end before 25?
Yeah,
They're
usually.
not- if they're new series.
Usually. But some series get canceled well into their run, so.
Oh, I have a question real quick. For real.
What?
Do you guys think that if this guy gets his limbs cut off, his or her, whatever, their limb cut off, will it regenerate? Yes or no?
No.
I'm gonna
The
go with
Shaku-
yes.
The Shaku guys, or
Yes.
not immediately. No.
This one.
This guy got stabbed. Or this person got
I see
stabbed.
that.
Like when they first fly out of the car. You see like his sword goes straight through this person.
This do the Hishaku sorcerer?
Yeah.
He's fine, right?
He's fine.
Yeah. So he probably regenerated already.
Maybe. Pretty cool.
Fun fact: this arc is about breaking the deadlock, and there's a bunch of dead dudes coming back to life. So it's a physical. It's like a metaphorical and literal deadlock.
Get it? It's a deadlock. They're deadlocked.
Interesting.
They're deadlocked into this encounter now. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. But that's all I got to say about Kagurabachi. Great chapter overall. Excited for the next week. Ready to move on, boys?
Yeah.
Then let's go. Undead Unluck. Toss us on over to Josh.
Let's get everybody. This is Undead Unluck. And give me 1 second because I got a cough.
Oh my god, hurry up.
Sorry, I didn't want everyone to hear that. All right. Undead Unluck, chapter number 222. That's nice. Speed run. All right. Last week, we seen Unruin get brutally thrashed like the Cowboys, like my Cowboys did yesterday.
Like your
morning,
Dallas Cowboys.
like earlier afternoon. Yes. Yeah, it was a rough day for our teams. But
It's always a rough day for my team.
yeah, it was a well, it's early in the season. Anyway, yeah. Unruin got it bad, and he's trapped in a perpetual cycle of getting hit so that he can't really regenerate. So he has to think about the lessons that were taught to him. As his Uma's standby for support. But in this chapter, Andy's back. He's finally back to the Union. He's like, yo, sorry to keep y'all waiting. This is sick. What up? And everyone's looking at him like, oh shit, that's Andy. Oh. Everyone's like, damn, that's Fuko's boyfriend. Like, what the fuck?
Isn't he
So,
47
everyone's
years
got
old?
mixed- Yeah. Or way older. Millions. I feel like we can't have that. We can't lose that fact.
He doesn't even look
Yeah,
he doesn't even look kind of young like in other immortal things. Where they at least
He's
look kind of
basically
young.
like Clark Kent. He's Kal-El. He can just live for mad long.
Kal-El, no.
Most he'll get is probably like the gray stripes at the side of his hair.
I guess
That's
he
about
has
it.
white hair.
He'll get black stripes. Is it reverse?
Well, he has black hair when he's
Wonder.
Victor.
Oh. Well, these are details I care very much about, but I must continue. So yeah, Andy realizes that he didn't Fuko never used remember on the negators. He's like, are you fucking crazy? Like, why were you trying to make this so tough for yourself? He actually says, what kind of self-imposed challenge are you playing here? She's like, I understand how you feel, but if you were in my shoes, you would have done the same thing, right? And he's just thinking about it. And before he has really a chance to answer, Gina is like, yo, I'm gonna give you my seat. And you should be thankful because I'm Fugo's right hand person. And I'm sassy. Yeah. So Andy joins the table, and right after that, Apocalypse shows his stupid ass face and starts explaining how all of their past what do you call it, missions, oh yeah, missions, right? Yeah, the last quest, my bad, all the quests were cleared. They captured Uma Burn, they captured Uma Summer, all of this off stream. Neutralized Uma Beast, we seen that was gangster. Your boy Top put in work, Ryan. The neutralization of Uma language, that was Chris's favorite arc personally, but
Yeah,
the
it was
Janken,
easily
no,
my
that wasn't
favorite.
Janken, that was I forget the game, but Chris knows even if he doesn't say it right now.
Yeah.
Shiratori, there we go. So with that, they had gained 4 seats. So the seat that Gina just gave up, she was able to get right back, which is nice. By the way, Fang is nowhere to be seen. He's not at the table.
Isn't he doing something?
He was supposed to be training people with how to use the soul ability, but he probably told them to fuck off.
Yeah,
and
he
went
was
to
he was
train
supposed to
or
do it with
something.
Shen, right?
Probably fighting mountains or something like that. I mean, grizzly bears, kung fu shit. But, Andy's really impressed, and Fuko reminds him that it was thanks to the work that we've all put in. Even Miss Juiz from the past, of course. So Apocalypse was fiending to tell him, like, all right, like, y'all did y'all thing, but 3 months there's gonna be more quests, and the 8 master rules are gonna be out there waiting, like, to fight y'all. Yeah, y'all gonna lose. Y'all don't have Unjustice. Kick rocks. Spend your
I hate
time
y'all.
wisely. Yeah, he said a bunch of mean things. Juice is like, Julia, the reincarnation of Juice, says that, damn, 3 months or so, the time we had before the fight, we gotta fight those people. They're like, Fugo's like, look, don't sweat it, we got a little plan. But aside from that, Andy, like, basically actually, like, oh, you haven't manifested, like, she hasn't manifested her ability yet. And Fugo's basically trying to, breaks down that, her, I guess her negation ability, her tragedy is linked to Victor. And because he, never came about in this loop, she can't, it seems she can't have her tragedy, so Unjustice won't activate. But Fuko doesn't really want her to anyway, because Victor basically wished that Julia would reincarnate and have a peaceful life without, like, all of the fighting and being a negator. So Fuko wanted to respect that wish. And he's like, listen, fuck all that down and shit, all right? Like nobody here is a replacement for what Unjustice is supposed to represent and what it can accomplish. You know, and besides, like that's not worth it to all of them after all of the work you've been putting in for the last 200 years or so. Julia comes up and she's like, "Look, Fuko, I want to fight. I'm not pussy." And Fuko's like, "All right, fine." So, bet this is when she starts delivering the plan she thought about, which is that in the next 3 months, we'll keep people around Julia nonstop just in case she unlocks her justice ability. In the meantime, we're gonna, you know, create strategies to, you know, fight the master rules. And as she's talking, Fugo's alarm goes off, and she's like, "Oh, that's weird. Like I had it set for 6 in the morning." Then it goes off again, and then she's like, "Shit, is my fucking watch broken?" And Nico starts looking at his phone, and they see the time start moving like rapidly fast. And this fiend apocalypse,
Dude,
a really cool
bugged
panel actually.
out.
It's like, open the quest. Fucking gross, gross fucking book. Oh, he has the Renegon. He can see through agendas. That's pretty sick.
That is just a cope by people with agendas.
But he has agendas himself. Oh, whatever. I'll save my thoughts.
Nobody
Why
copes
I
harder
go
than
more,
Apocalypse,
so-
ironically.
Yo, he's fiend out.
Open the quest.
So basically, for some reason, time sped up. We don't know why. Andy doesn't care. He's like, "Oh, you're that afraid of us, Soul? I guess it was Soul's doing." So he says, "Fine." Starting now, we're officially on a speed run. Apocalypse says. All right, that was the end of the chapter. Brian, I'd like your wholehearted, unironic thoughts on this chapter of Undead Unluck.
It's nice to see Andy interacting with the rest of the squadron, the rest of the.
He had a
team.
moment with Billy.
Yeah, it's about damn time.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did see it.
You remember?
I do remember. And nice to see Top doing shit too. That's pretty cool. We love Top in this household as well.
We sure do at New Jump City Podcast.
But yeah, honestly, I don't have that many thoughts. It's nice to see Andy back with the rest of the gang doing his thing. But yeah, Chris, what are your thoughts?
Who? I thought this chapter was fun. Very exposition heavy, just setting the stage for what's to come. It's so funny that like they were that scared of injustice, they started to cheat. He's like, yeah, fuck that. Fast forward. So I guess you could say we're finally in the final saga of Undead Unluck.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Famous last words, I know, because we predicted the end of Undead Unluck no less than 13 times. But it's good. It's good to see that we might actually be there now. We might actually be at the final stage. But you know, it was cool to see the squadron. One, I really laughed when Andy stuck the sword in his shoulder, and everybody's like, "Why'd you do that?"
Gross.
Yeah, he said, "Why'd you stick it there?" That's so funny.
He's like, "Cause I'm intense." Weird.
Because I'm that guy.
Love it.
So yeah, that's exciting. I guess the master rules are already on it. We're gonna get to see the quests and all that they entail. I wonder if they're gonna split up again. I figure they will. But that would be cool. Maybe we'll get like arcs where it's people outside of Fuko's circle, so we'll actually see people operate on their own. Because I think the showing of a good world and a good cast is whether they can just hold their own without Fuko
Without the main
being there.
character.
Yeah, without Fuko or Andy being there. So, you know, I'm excited to see how that works. I wonder what the quests are specifically. If we're gonna see some new
and-
Umas.
Oh, Andy.
So, yeah, I'm here for it. Undead Unluck. That's all my thoughts. Does anybody have any rebuttals or anything?
No, sir.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm really looking forward to the next coming arc too. I appreciated the small moments that Andy had, like, meeting all of the Negators and then being shocked that they don't remember him.
Yeah.
Um, what I didn't mention is that it seems like Fuko decided that she's not going to use Remember, and Andy's on board with it. I don't think that was a part of the plan. Like, I think they're just gonna go with how everyone is now, but maybe I think she is gonna use it eventually, but I think they're gonna go into their fights. If people have their own fights, I think it's gonna happen without them using Remember, and then maybe in the middle of the fights, they'll when they're losing or something, she'll use Remember, and they'll get all their skills from the past.
Yeah.
There's still all the soul stuff they had to learn. Some of them have been using it a bit. I want to see that explored a bit more. I hope it gets developed with each of the characters.
Yeah, I agree. Because now that you mention it, it's kind of like a little bit out of left field. It makes sense within the context of the world, but yeah, I too am hoping that we go more into it.
Right. Those are my thoughts.
Nice. Well, yeah. Well, that's it for Undead Unluck, and that has been our show, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram and Twitter. Oh, no, wait. On Twitter, he's at New Jump City Josh. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we'll talk about it on the pre-show chat show that releases a day after the main show. You subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, Castbox, Pocket Cast. We are on so many platforms that I don't even know what they are. So hit us up on either of those. YouTube is always available. We are uploading all the audio episodes up there. So if you prefer to listen to podcasts on YouTube, you can check us out on there. Like and share and subscribe and all that stuff that people tell you to do for the algorithm. And yeah, that's it for the show, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging. We will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Ciao, ciao.